Hello, and welcome to a special episode of the Crescent Shroud. Uh, this time we'll be focusing on Adelle, our party's warlock. Um,
Sorry.
am I boring you already?
No, it was a sneeze.
Um, so, who are you? Explain to people, like, introduce yourself. Where can people
You
find
mean
you? What do you do? That kind of
oh
thing.
oh me.
Yeah, you.
Hi, I'm Insert Waffles. I stream from time to time at Insert Waffles. I stream variety and art, but most of the time I'm pretty busy. I am a full-time pandemic nurse, and holidays were always short staffed. So I spend most of my time lately at the hospital.
Hmm. Well, um, you do good work.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Well, not really, but
Okay.
I enjoy it.
Well, let's get a little bit of Adele's backstory out there. Um, Adele's not her real name, or rather, it's a nickname, right?
Yep.
What's her real name?
Her full name is Edelweiss des Mondtochter,
Okay,
which was the name given to her, well, by the temple. So
yeah. Uh, it's okay. Writer's room. Do you want it to
yes.
be given to you by the temple, or do you want it to be actually your last name?
So I in my head, Edelweiss is what my parents named me, and then the des Mondtochter is from the temple.
Okay, cool, cool. Have you thought about what your parents' last name is?
I don't I don't think that Adele actually knows.
Okay. Well, you
I
still
think
Adele still
yeah.
is in contact like
I
once a
yeah,
year or
but
something.
I feel like she's never thought to ask.
Okay.
It's not important.
You don't really. She's not very close with her
No,
actual
no, she's
parents.
not. She's not close at all with them. She's
Yeah.
like they're there, but I mean, she sees them once a year, and
Mhm.
they're just like, "Hi, hi,"
Mhm.
and she's like, "Oh my gosh, hi! You left me here when I was a baby. Hi."
Yeah. Um, I think that they're from Vuisha,
Okay.
which is like the farthest of the Far Kingdoms. It is far to the west, like on the banks of the Western Ocean. Um, like you need to go all the way around the crescent,
Mhm.
and then between a mountain range and the desert, and then you hit the coast. And if you go
Mhm.
north from the coast, you go to Vuisha, and if you go south, you hit Mebia. Um,
Okay. Okay.
Vuisha is like Mediterranean climate, um, kind of a mix of like provincial France, Paris, Greece. Um, it's it's kind of, well, because it's so far removed from all the other human civilizations. It's it's kind of insulated, and they've developed their own unique culture. Um, it's not it's not considered to be a low class place. Like people like it's perceived as very sophisticated, um, although not necessarily more technologically advanced.
Okay.
Um, like Vuitian poets are uh, renowned. They focused on the arts there a bunch. Uh, they make textiles primarily. Um, they actually harvest a special kind of seaweed there that they dry and spin into very fine cloth. It's called Vuitian silk. Um,
Okay.
and I think that your actual parents are
Mhm.
like minor nobles uh,
Ooh.
from Vuisha, and they specifically run a Vuishan silk trading company, um, and that's why they see you like once a
Yeah,
year because they actually make
can
the
afford
trip.
that.
That well, they afford that, and they need to ship their goods to
Mhm.
Ancria, and like it's like a once a year thing maybe. Um, like they make a whole caravan, like they have guards, they ship their goods, and because it's kind of it's a luxury item, I think that they might go with it just to ensure that it's safe. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Um, it's it's on the coast, like I
Okay.
said, but it's also at like it's at a strait that connects to kind of a bay
Hmm.
that's also like fully salt water. It's not like the Great Inner Sea. Um, and there's also like risk of piracy in that
Okay.
area. Uh, just to give you and the people watching a bit more flavor to
Hmm.
this far kingdom. Um, when you were very little, your parents did one of those caravans and left you at the temple, right?
Yeah.
Do you,
Um,
or is it like before
so
you were?
I am in my head, like she was still an infant. Like it was when her her hair started coming in and they realized that like she just didn't have like weird pink eyes. Like it she was basically an albino.
Hmm,
And in my head, like my dad was pretty creeped out by that and like decided that religion was the answer and pressured my mom into being like, we gotta just like go drop her off at
okay.
the temple because this is weird.
Are they also Kalishtar?
Yes.
Okay, but
Yes.
the pink eyes and white hair is not like a
It
family
it
trait.
doesn't. No, it's not.
Okay,
It's definitely like basically albinism.
okay. And can you describe uh, what Adele looks like in more detail than we've kind of gone in? Um,
Yeah, so she's um she's about average height for her age. Let's see. She's 19. She's about 5'5". But she's very slim. She has very pale skin and she has white hair that goes down to about her waist and it's wavy. And she wears it in a half up, half down fashion. And
okay.
her eyes are a true pink color. Not just like a, oh, like they're kind of like pinkish red, but they're like a true pink,
Mm-hmm.
like kind of throws you off color. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
So your dad probably saw this, and maybe he was a little religious already, um,
Hmm.
and thought it might be a sign. Like he might worship Kior, the god of trade, and have like attributed a lot of his success to that. Um, so like
Yeah.
when you came around, it was kind of like, oh, this is a sign. Um, and then you were dropped off at the temple. Um, who who took you in? Like
Um, like,
like at the temple, who became your new parental figure?
yeah, so my new parental figure, um, her name is Amalthea,
Okay.
and she was one of, um, like what you would call like a like a sister superior or
Mhm.
like a reverend mother these
Okay.
days. Um, and she was actually pretty not very young when I was a baby, but she was in her late 20s, early 30s.
Okay. So she's like 20, 30 years older than you?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. So like right about now she's like in her 50s?
Mhm.
Okay. Um she's a member of the priesthood of the Tempest. Um and you spent most of your almost all of your life before this campaign started in the Temple District. There's
Yes.
more than just the three cathedrals there. There's a whole bunch of other buildings, all to support this this religious infrastructure. Um, so like, and it's a fairly large region in the city, so you don't really need to leave if you don't have any reason to. Um, so we're gonna flash forward, and you see this parental figure. Um, the camera's to their back, um, and they're like sitting on a pew in the heptagonal uh, inner sanctum of the Temple of the Tempest. Uh, she has like black hair that's tightly braided to her head, um, and the camera pans slightly. And I need to change the exposure on my camera for a fourth time now.
The sun's setting too quickly for you.
No, no, the opposite. Now the sun's back out, and it's
No.
yeah.
You can't win.
Mm-mm. Anyways, uh, the camera pans uh, down the long corridor, flanked by two reflecting pools with lotuses in them, and we see Adelle walking down the path. This is immediately after you sp- uh, split from the party. Like you were just at the Spellforge Institute's
Mhm.
uh, off-campus location, um, and you decided to. In real life, you needed to leave, uh,
Yeah.
but in character, we decided that you would be going to the Tempest Temple to like see if they have any further uh, insight or research on the specific topics that you wanted to look through. Um, the rest of the party went to the library and met a very insecure young man. Um, but we're focusing on Adelle, and she walks up into the inner sanctum and greets Amalthea.
Oh, that's my cue.
Yeah.
Mm, did we okay, wait, side note.
Hmm.
Did we agree on a title for her?
We did not. Uh, the I kind of think that the whole Tempest uh, structure is
Mhm.
very loose.
Okay.
Um, so sister or
Okay.
or
Okay.
like potentially mother, but that's I don't know. What do you think?
I think that it I think that if she has the option to call her mother, she probably will.
Okay, that might be a term reserved for uh,
Like,
members of the priesthood that have like been there a while.
yeah,
Like a term
yeah,
of respect.
right.
Okay.
But I feel like for Adele, it's multifaceted.
Hmm.
Like she sees this woman really as her mother, but also like she is, a mother
Yeah.
in the temple.
Okay. That
Okay.
works. Um. Also, what what aspect do you think she worships, or is it more of a the Tempest as a whole? Amalthea, that is. Like, is she more of a? Does she worship the goddess of war? Um, or is like she more
I
peaceful?
think she's definitely more peaceful. I feel like she's probably um a follower of Callie actually, like the
Okay.
life as a concept. Um
Callie is the well, life as a concept and the world, like the land. Um,
right.
yeah.
Mm, You know what? No, actually she would most likely be with Mingjing, the
Okay.
nature healing
Sure.
and individual life. Yeah. Actually that makes more sense.
Works for me. Um, so, uh, you greet Amalthea. She says, "Oh, Adele." She has like stern features, but kind gray eyes.
Mother, I've come back to see if you have any more information on that topic that I asked you about
Hmm.
last time.
Well, it's there's not a lot to go on. Um, there's not anything in our records that could be attributed to that, but it is very curious.
Yes, I found it very strange and new,
Hmm.
but then again, a lot of things were new.
What else?
Outside is so different.
What else troubles you?
I feel like the temple did not prepare me well for leaving, and like we talked before, there are so many that do not find comfort in the teachings, and it's been difficult to reconcile that.
The the temple was not. It does not. How would she put this? It is not designed to teach you, get you ready. That is irrelevant. You just, oh my gosh, I'm just blown out. Like look at that. The camera is just,
The cats are walking in front of the camera.
uh,
I'm so sorry. If I didn't have the model, you just get full on cat butt.
anyways, she says, that is not the purpose of the temple. Um, you've done well though. You're still here, which means you've learned and grown.
I have. I have. And it's been kind of fun.
Hmm, I'm glad to hear that. Is that all? Tell me about your travels. Tell me about what's happened.
Well, I went to the magistrate as I was told, and they had us take these criminals to a mine up in the Crescent. And the mine was full of goblins, and all sorts of things happened, and we had to fight the goblins. And then and and Romeo was there, and he helped me, and then he spoke, and it was very confusing. there's so much going on, and it seems like there's stuff beyond just what I can see.
Well, that is true. There is always things beyond our vision.
That's true. It's hard to remember sometimes. The world is so much bigger than what what little me can touch and see and feel.
I think it's good that you are learning.
Yeah. And
Ramiel
it's
spoke to you?
he
You had
did
another appearance?
he yeah, he was there, and he came in all glory, like when he descended the first time,
Mm.
you know, the eye, the wings, everything. And goodness, I'm very confused. It seems like there's something going on up in the realms of the gods and the spirits, that things are going to happen. And it's kind of scary, to be frank, Mother, that
Hmm.
I might have a role to play.
Be thankful that you have a role to play. Imagine how helpless you'd feel if you did not.
Mm. I feel like I can only think that maybe it would be safer.
You're welcome back here anytime, but I feel like your calling is elsewhere. As I
I've
think
made
do
some,
you.
yeah, I've made some really good friends, and I really hope that we can grow closer. I mean, I always have the temple as my family, but I feel like I can I can find family elsewhere too.
Hmm.
Maybe one that's just mine, as selfish as that sounds.
Hmm. That's possible. It's possible. Waffles.
Yeah, that's me.
Do you remember the dream that you had?
The one which okay, there's been a couple. Are
Yep.
we talking about the one in the marketplace with the tentacles?
Well, I wasn't referencing that, but that might be something you want to bring up.
Which dream?
Uh, the the one where you relived Astra's perspective and then it transitioned.
Oh, oh, with talking with Callie
Mm-hmm.
and watching myself die. That one. Yes, I do
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah.
Um, yeah. I should probably tell her about that. That
You
seems
don't
kind
have
of
to. I just
important.
wanted to remind the player that that happened because that was like a
Yeah.
month and a half ago or something.
It
Um,
was a
yeah.
little bit ago. Yeah.
But if you want to keep that to yourself, by all means.
I feel like she would not tell her mother figure that she almost died
Okay.
so as not to give her a heart attack. Um,
Do you have any questions about that while not specifically referencing it? Like
mm,
this would be a person that you might want to ask some of the questions you're trying to answer.
I feel
No
like
is an
there's a lot of
acceptable answer.
questions. Yeah, I don't know if Adele really has everything. I feel personally, and I feel Adele as well, is just very overwhelmed and confused by everything,
Mm-hmm.
and is just kind of doing her best each
Mm-hmm.
time to try and figure it out.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, I mean, but this is also me as a waffles person. Like
Sure.
I'm very bad at forming questions about things because I get very overwhelmed by the whole thought of it, and then I'm like, ah,
Mm-hmm.
thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So
We could talk about that like out of out of play, like just
yeah,
what what aspect are you, Waffles, most curious about?
I I think the thing I'm most curious about is like what exactly is like this struggle or whatever that's going on in the among the celestials. Like why are things happening?
Mm-hmm.
Why is Romeo suddenly appearing again and
Mm-hmm.
saying like I'm watching over you? Like what is he watching over us for? Like what's going on? Is this like a recurrence of some old enemy? I mean, I know that the serpent is getting stronger again and Callie's strength is fading. Um is that an imminent thing or is this part of like a cycle that goes on?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's so many questions. And I also feel like as much as Adele trusts Amalthea is still that like mother figure that I feel like a lot of teenagers like don't want to
Mm-hmm.
fully tell them everything because they don't want a scolding or they don't want to worry them. And I think she's also worried that if she shares too much, Amalthea will kind of take away that independence and have her come home out of
Okay.
concern.
Okay, that makes sense. Um, would you want to ask her more about Gayak potentially, or Mingji? Um,
I think probably
because those are names that you've encountered
yeah.
recently, and they're innocuous enough not to worry her. I think.
And I think I've already mentioned to her that Ramiel mentioned Mingjing to me because I asked her who Mingjing was,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when she explained to me,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know,
Mm-hmm.
she's the goddess of, beneficial change and
Yep.
this. So I think probably I'll change the subject, and say, Mother, last time we talked about Mingjing a bit. Could you tell me some more of the stories about her?
Mm-hmm.
Although that might be too much pressure on you right
No, I'm
away.
I'm trying to think what aspect we haven't talked about yet that might be a good uh expository point. Uh, she and I'm gonna do this like out of character because I think it's easier. Um,
Mhm,
she tells you a story about
mhm,
how a like a family was sick and they prayed and they prayed, um, and eventually Mingjing appeared to them, gave them a satchel of of uh, of like plants and told them to plant them in their garden. Uh, they did so, and the plants bloomed, um, and like it's telling the story of like how civilization first discovered like medicinal herbs.
mhm.
Um, like they were a direct gift from Mingjing. Um, so like that's a story she tells. It's like a parable or something. Um, the she follows that with too much too much like action. can distract you. Make sure to recenter yourself every now and again.
I understand. I do my daily prayers, and well, it has been a while since I've just taken time to sit and contemplate. Do you mind if I sit with you?
By all means. So, you and what's her name? Was Amalthea sit in one of the pews across from in this heptagonal space. The pews are arranged parallel to the stained glass windows up above. So while you're sitting at a pew, you can look up and see a specific stained glass window. Both you and her are sitting on a pew that is opposite of the stained glass window depicting a rabbit, trees, and farmland.
Right.
What do you say internally? Or do you just
No.
focus on be present in the moment?
I think that right now she's trying to get herself into the mentality to start praying. I think at first she kind of breathes out and relaxes her shoulders and tries to like really center herself, focusing on her core and trying to get into a space where she can wholeheartedly like contemplate and pray and really kind of like channel her belief instead of a quick prayer thrown together. Like this is actually a really meaningful
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
exchange for her.
Yeah. Yeah. So you spend some time there. You you focus inward. You like try to calm yourself. You try to focus. Um, you sense that time is passing, um, and like the party might be getting a little worried about where you are because you were just saying that you're going to stop by the temple.
Mhm.
Um, so I think that Amalthea gets up first, says, I have duties to attend to. Be safe." And she leaves through like a side passage door. Because there's more to this temple than just like the public
The main, yeah,
structure. Um, yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So Adele gets up.
And turns to leave, and I think she looks back one more time, you know, and I think she just says thank you, just like knowing based on what Amalthea has said and what Ramia has said that Ming Jing is also part of, the Celestials watching over her.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you look behind you. You glance behind you at the stained glass window still visible. Um, and you swear it's moving just a little. Like the rabbit seems more lifelike. Um,
uh,
your vision swims. Uh, and you blink, and you are somewhere else. You're in
good
a
golly.
you you're immediately struck by how warm and humid it feels. It's also very bright in here. Um, once your eyes acclimate, you notice you're in a greenhouse, a very large greenhouse, multifaceted uh, glass panes far, far above you. Um, Around you, there are trees, little beds for plants, and ancient wooden shelves full of dried herbs and books and overgrown potted plants. In the distance, you hear stone scraping on stone.
First, touch one of the leaves and like to make sure that like I can actually feel it. I'm not just seeing things. I
It,
think part of me thinks it's a dream.
it's there. You feel it.
Yep.
Hmm.
um, I hear the stone, and I'm like, "Hello," and I start slowly walking towards the sound
Hmm.
because I apparently have no sense of self-preservation, as evidenced. Um,
Yeah, it's like a scrape, scrape, scrape. Little couple pauses, rustling, a couple like impacting sounds, and then scrape, scrape, scrape.
so someone using like a mortar and pestle,
Hmm.
probably. So it's not a very threatening sound. Um,
It was startling at first, but you
yeah.
recognize the sound.
Yeah, so I'll definitely approach like kind of cautiously, kind of like peeping around
It,
plants and corners as I go.
yeah, it's kind of a maze in here. Like the bookshelves are freestanding; they're not just around the edge. There's like a, apparently like random placement, uh, and like between them there are like gardens and beds, and it's all very lush in here. Seems very old too. Um,
Never seen anything quite like this.
there are plants in here that you do not recognize. Many plants in here that you do not recognize. Um, and the ceiling of the greenhouse is tall enough to accommodate full trees.
Oh, it's a big greenhouse.
Yeah, yeah. Um, you like come around this scraping sound is getting louder. You're approaching it, and you
Okay.
like peek around a bookshelf, and you hear a voice that says, "Don't be shy. Come on."
I think I kind of scuttle around because I'm like, they know I'm here. I might as well.
Of course I know you're here. Come on, hurry up.
Uh,
I don't
did
have all
you
day.
did you just did you just read my mind?
No, of course not. That would be rude.
Uh, yeah, so I definitely present myself.
Hmm. So like you like get yourself ready and like you navigate your way through the last couple bookshelves, um, and you see a very large mortar and pestle, like on a plinth. Um, there are tables arranged in a semicircle behind it. Um, a simple wooden stool, so at about the same level as the top of the mortar. And on top of this wooden stool, there is a fluffy white rabbit holding a the pestle in both hands and like grinding it. So you're finally here. Great. Been waiting.
Rabbit?
The rabbit speaks to you.
Yeah, she's like, and I think Adele's first thought is a rabbit. Oh, and then I think she like shakes her head and she's like, not the weirdest thing I've seen lately. Um, and I think something clicks in her head and she's like, are you Lady Mingjing?
I mean, lady's a bit of a stretch. I'm a rabbit. But yeah, yeah, sure. That you can call me that.
And you brought me here?
Would you mind real quick? second bookshelf on your left, third shelf. There's a
Oh,
little satchel. Can you bring that over here real quick?
yeah, this
Perfect.
one? Ah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, that one.
okay. Here you go.
Okay. And the rabbit sets down the mortar and the pestle into the mortar, and like opens the satchel, puts one giant fluffy, or sorry, not giant. It's a normal sized rabbit. Uh, puts one paw full in there and takes out a giant bunch of like moss.
Uh-huh.
Throws it into the mortar and continues grinding. Perfect. Thank you. You can put that back.
It went here. Um, uh, are you making? Well, obviously you're making. What? Why am I here?
Oh, I mean, well, you're here because I wanted you here. But like other than that, you're here because you need guidance. I'm pretty sure. Oh, and I'll get to that later.
Uh, uh
The bunny
I
nose
suppose
twitches real quick.
I do need guidance.
Of course you do. I said so.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Don't apologize. That wastes all our time. Let's just get to it. So,
Yes.
um, Ramiel told me about you. Said that you might need more direct intervention. So, that's why I'm here. That's why you're here. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Good.
Yes. Oh.
What?
Oh no. I was just saying yes.
Right.
Adele is like very nervous.
Solars are simple beings. They're blunt. You know, like, you don't need to be nervous around me. Like, solars are loyal, yeah. They're useful, sure. Subtle, they don't know the meaning of the word. And that's okay. All things have a place. She
I
grinds
laughs a little.
she grinds the pestle more. But
Yeah, Romeo. I feel like he needs to tone down sometimes.
they're incapable of that. They're designed to be blunt. That's what they're for. Like, sometimes the order of things needs correction, lest it trend toward annihilation. Grind, grind. So when things need a blunt touch, that's what solars are for. I feel like
That.
I'm slipping, the accent slipping a bit. I don't,
Okay.
yeah, okay. Um, Even Mac
I,
doesn't destroy with abandon. Sometimes you need a scalpel.
true. A fine touch for a fine situation.
Exactly.
Is that the kind of situation we're in? All he said is that things were happening and he was watching
Yeah.
and I need to do
Mm-hmm.
things, but what things?
Well, you see, I can't tell you. Because if you know, that will influence your decisions. It needs to come naturally. But I can say that that is correct. You do need to be careful. And I'm sorry that frustrates you. Sorry, I did not read your mind. That would be rude. Um, you are burdened. Immortals. Um, grind, grind, grind. Um, you see, because you have a limited understanding of time, I can't explain these things to you. I might be able to help. I'm able to keep watch, and like you're bound to Ramiel, which means you are by proxy bound to me. You are in my charge. I will try not to let things happen to you, but, sometimes things need to happen. All things have a place.
I mean, I understand that. I mean, as as Mother Amalfi always said, we can't learn without scraping our knees a little bit.
Hmm. How is she doing? Haven't heard from her in a while.
I believe she's well. I was talking with her
Good, good,
earlier.
good.
But this danger that
Hmm. Oh,
that
yes.
you and Ramiel have alluded to, is that,
Very dangerous. Very
is it
tricky.
is it for the world or for me, or
Yes.
I mean,
All of the above. Are you not part of the world?
I I suppose I am.
That is a stupid question. You're smarter than that.
I'm I'm sorry. Um but does this have to do with the serpent?
Ooh. See, I knew you were smarter than that. Um, that would be telling. And that's one of those things you need to discover for yourself. But the answer to that is not no. It's also not yes, but it's not no.
Okay.
They're involved. Let's put it that way.
Oh, involved.
But, like, they're not the. Ooh, no, can't say that. Uh, the bunny nose twitches in the air, frustratingly. Um, this is why I prefer the Solars to do this. Because I like things being straightforward. And I can't be when interacting with you people. Uh, it's frustrating. Limited
I
minds.
I I'm sorry. I can
Once
feel like
again,
I
don't
kind of
apologize. That wastes
understand.
all our time. Weren't you listening the first
Ah,
time?
Adele does not know how to not say sorry. She's trying to like get her confidence back. Um, she's abandoned her reckless abandon somewhere. Um,
Look, uh, I am not. Allowed isn't the right word. I'm allowed to do anything I want. But if I do this, it will damage things that I don't want damaged in the span of time. So I'm not allowed because I'm not allowing myself to tell you certain things. I'm able to tell you others. You
there's
just need to ask the right questions.
oh goodness. Hmm.
Well, I mean, you don't even need to ask questions. I can just tell you what you are going to ask.
That
But
that yeah,
but once
that's an
again, if I tell
option.
you what you're going to ask, you won't ask them, and then you won't be going to ask it. You see, it turns into a paradox, which is why you need to do stuff on your own. I can't tell you all of it.
I have to.
Are you able to comprehend that?
Yes,
Good.
I know I need to do things on my own more. I just, what if I do it wrong? Or what if I don't ask what I need to ask?
Uh, well, then you fail. Good job.
Uh, okay. Questions.
You're not the only piece on the board.
What? I'm I
But,
don't think so highly of myself as to assume that.
well, then your failure is inconsequential, lest it happen. Or, yeah.
Do
Speak up.
what what do I need to do next? Is there somewhere I should go?
You should get stronger.
get stronger.
Yeah.
How do I get stronger?
Oh, you see, that's a good question. That's a really good question. That's something I can tell you. Finally. Uh, you could deepen your bond uh, to Ramiel or me. That would work. Allow us to channel more of our power through you. Allow you to use it. It's a sympathetic bond. It's easy enough to widen.
Oh, to you or Romeo?
I mean, you don't have to. You could always, like, pick up a sword and learn how to swing it.
Oh gosh, no.
Yeah,
I
see,
I
that's what I
barely
thought.
have any hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
The sisters who tried to teach me to use the sickle said that I was pretty hopeless.
Mm. You're not hopeless. That much is certain.
So,
Mm.
you say it's a sympathetic bond.
Yeah.
How would I go about deepening it? Is this like,
Mm.
making cookies? No, it's not like making cookies,
It's a bit
River.
like
That would
making
be
cookies.
silly.
Yeah.
Oh, oh,
In that you start with an unformed mass, and through pain and heat and fire, you become either something delicious or inedible. So a bit like making cookies.
I think Adele just kind of pauses
Oh,
at the
speaking of
idea.
which, ginger snap
Oh, please,
behind you,
thank you.
and
Oh,
like directly behind you, on a table. Like you swear it wasn't there before.
mm-hmm.
There's a plate with ginger snaps.
Okay, I take one while considering trying to decide if I would rather be considered inedible or not because I'm not sure which is the preferable option.
Do you do you take a bite of the ginger snap?
Yes. Oh gosh, yes.
Mm. Now you see the funny thing. That was once alive. It was a plant, and the plant was grown on soil, and soil is the rotting remains of other plants and animals, just like yourself. So even if you become inedible, like a cookie, potentially, you can still be of use. Isn't that nice?
Yes. And then I won't be eaten.
Oh no, you will be eaten. Everything
Oh,
gets eaten once in a while. Eventually. You might not be
event.
around to know it, but you know, that's not that's not the matter of things.
So, in making myself as the cookie, where where would we start? Because I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
really do need to become stronger,
Hmm.
and I feel like everything that you have told me and Ramiel has told me and everything I've seen, I think something bigger is coming,
That
and
is true.
I
I can
want
tell
to
you that.
help.
Something bigger is coming, and that will not affect your decisions. So good. Yes, I can confirm. Uh, something very big. Uh, something that. Nope, can't say that. Uh, he, you need. Hmm. She hops off of her stool, bounds towards you, real quick, sniffs your foot, sniffs your leg. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, that'll work. Then she hops back to her stool, jumps up, lands on it, grabs the pestle again, starts grinding. Behind you, there is a book that I think would be beneficial to all parties. You turn around, and on the table where the ginger snaps were, there is now a tome. Um, it's fairly plain. It's not like ornamented in any way. Um, smells faintly of lavender, and it's leather bound with like brass corners.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, take that.
I pick it up
Good.
almost like reverently. Is there anything like is anything like embossed on the cover?
No, no, there's nothing
Okay.
embossed on the cover. It's a nondescript
Okay.
exterior.
Okay.
Um,
Then I think I'm curious enough that I open it.
mhm. You open it, and the pages are dizzying. Um, the text on the pages is not something that you are able to read, and it seems to swim across the page. It shifts. It's like a optical illusion almost. Um, makes you a little nauseous. Whoa, whoa, okay, you don't open that page yet. You're not ready.
Oh, I think that like I have already like subconsciously like slammed the book closed and like trying to blink away the dizzy.
Yeah, that'll happen. You gotta be careful. You try to open it a bit too much, too quickly. Start at the beginning. I don't know. I, I mean, I know you're not stupid. So you read a book like you normally read a book. Start at the beginning. You'll get to that
So
chapter eventually.
I I see. It's no ordinary book.
I'm no
Um,
ordinary rabbit.
this is a good point.
Once again, you're
So
wasting our time.
I'm sorry. I opened the first page.
Mhm. There is the first page is blank, except for a X and a line.
An X and a line.
Yeah, you'll need a sign there.
The sign.
Yeah, your
What?
name, your real name, not any nicknames, not any epithets. Your name.
Oh, is this is a contract, isn't it?
Contract. You're signing out one of my books.
Like a library card?
Yeah, if you think of it like that, that'll work.
Oh, okay. Does a do I don't have a pen on. Oh, I do
Sorry,
have a pen on me.
behind you. And there is a quill with an ostrich feather.
Uh-huh.
Um, and the tip of this, the nib of this quill is uh fractal like. Um,
Okay.
it breaks into two, you know, and then each one of those nibs breaks into two, and then breaks into two again and again and again, and it repeats smaller than the eye can see.
I think I take a second to like look at the pen and I'm like, what kind of pen is this? And then I remember what Mingjing keeps saying about wasting time and I shake my head and I
Good.
sign my full name.
Uh,
Edelweiss de Mondtochter.
you have no ink.
Oh, it's not like magic pen.
Well, I mean,
Cool.
you assume, so you try to write, and it's just dry. There's no ink on it.
Do I have my bag with my ink in my bag? Or
No.
uh ink.
Hmm.
You don't mean to say it's
Everything becomes food eventually.
I think I take a second and I look at her
No need to be
and I look at the book.
no need to be squeamish.
I I think I understand. And like, do I have something sharp on me?
You have the pen.
Okay, I think I
Becomes infinitely
use.
sharp at the tips.
Yeah, that's true. I use the pen and I I cut my thumb
Hmm.
and I use my blood as the ink.
It is so sharp you don't feel it. Um, you feel it. You feel it afterwards, like as you flex your thumb. But like, it is sharper than any needle that
Mhm.
you've felt. Um,
Okay, so I cut my thumb and I use that to fill up the nib on the pen. And after I finish that, I stick my thumb in my mouth to kind of suck the blood off
mhm.
and clean it a little bit,
See,
and
you're learning.
then I sign my name.
How's that cookie taste?
It was a good ginger snap.
I wasn't mentioning the ginger snap.
Oh,
See?
uh, a little irony. Oh, the irony.
Exactly. So you sign your name,
Hmm.
and the bright crimson like once you finish the final flourish of your name, the the bright crimson immediately darkens into like a pitch black, and it's like it starts to smoke just faintly. Perfect. So, I mean, now you're officially bound. Congratulations. The book is yours.
Um, thank you.
And you don't need to be careful with it. You can always get it back later.
Well, that's good. I'm not very good at keeping track of things. Then I feel like Adele's a little reckless, and she tries to open to that page again
Hmm.
that made her head swim earlier.
Makes your head hurt less.
Okay.
Um, but it's still not something you can read.
I sigh, close the book,
Soon.
and then I turn to the second page.
Second page. Second page, something you can read. Um, the text still swims slightly, but you're able to discern meaning from it. Uh, you're able to gather information. This is uh, basics of like spellcraft. Um, you flip to the next page and the next page, and like you're able to get maybe a dozen or so pages into this tome. Um, there are some pages within those first like 12 that are mostly blank. Um, and Mingjing says, "Yeah, you feel free to add to it." Um,
Do I have to write in this in blood as well,
oh no,
or will?
no, 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 no. Although you'll need to actually get some better inks than the stuff that was in your bag.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, okay. I can do that.
yeah.
I can do that.
Hmm. Um, but yeah, congratulations. You're now a little more powerful. How lovely. The cookies
Thank
are
you.
still baking.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my best to try and fulfill at least some of the expectations you have of me.
Yeah. You're, you. uh. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck with that. Expectations are funny like that. When
It's
one
true.
one can see through time.
Uh yeah, I suppose it's not expectation at that point. It's kind of prophecy.
Eh, doesn't really work like that either, but I can't expect you to understand.
I suppose I wouldn't.
No,
I
you wouldn't. You're physically incapable of it, and
our
that is
time
not
is
your
so
fault.
linear.
So, grind, grind. Before you leave, I have a gift for you. No blood necessary. I promise.
Oh, another gift?
Yeah, yeah. Something that I'm able to do in my power to help facilitate those cookies.
Is it what you've been making this whole time?
Once again, stupid question.
Oh,
Uh, and she like reaches her paws into this giant mortar and gathers up this powder, puts it in a little satchel that's on one of the tables next to her, um, cinches it up, and like puts it in her mouth, hops down off of the table, hops towards you, takes it out of her mouth, and lifts it up with one hand. Go on, take it. It's yours.
I take it with both hands, like kind of reverentially. Like, I mean, this is literally a goddess in front of me. Um, and then I'm just kind of holding it in my hands and staring at it like I don't know what this is and I don't know what to do with it, but I feel like it's really important.
Yeah. Uh, you can ask, but you don't have to. You're wasting my time.
Oh, right. Well, that was in my head, not out loud.
She still says
Um,
that.
oh, she's reading my mind again. Um,
No, I'm not. That would be rude.
what what is this?
Uh, hmm. It's medicine.
Should I take it?
You? No, it's not for you.
Is it for Elena?
I mean, not precisely. It could be. Uh, you'll use it when you think you should.
I see. And
I can't tell you when because that would influence your decision. You get it? Um,
yeah, I
Sometimes
get
the
it.
cookies aren't done by the time the recipe says. You need to use your intuition. Use your nose.
Use my nose. Okay. Um, just so I know, is this one dose or is this a multi-dose situation?
That would be telling. Uh, oof. Um, when it's necessary, you'll know how much to use. How about that?
Okay. I'm sorry for asking so many questions that you can't even answer.
That means those are good questions. Stupid questions are ones that you can answer.
And Adele kind of mutters under her breath, I always thought there was no such thing as stupid questions.
Oh, there are very many stupid questions.
Well, Lady Mingjing,
Hmm?
is there anything else that you think I should know? I don't want to waste your time.
Oh, um, there are many things I think you should know. But we don't have time for that. Uh, we're very busy. Um, be wary of Poe.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, he
like
already doesn't
he has
like
good
me.
intentions most of the time, but he may be tempted.
He may be tempted. Is this
Hmm.
wait, table talk. I don't remember. Has Poe told us about his dreams?
Not really.
I feel not really.
I
Oh,
mean,
I
he
feel
said that the
bad for
Fathomless
some
has like appeared to him, but he didn't really tell like specifics. I don't think. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Does this so she says, does this have to do with his dreams?
Mm, yes and no.
Another
Uh,
thing you can't tell
I
me?
mean, no. It's both. Both is the answer. Uh,
Both is the answer.
yeah.
Okay.
Like
letting me.
he has a potential for very much good.
I see.
He also
Well,
has the
don't we
potential
all?
for no, not all of us.
Oh,
Um, Once again, all things have a place. Uh, you can help direct it. Don't be too forceful. That would push him away.
okay. Slow and gentle.
Yeah.
I suppose I can stop lecturing him so much.
I guarantee that's not helping.
I've I've kind of picked up on that. It's been a little weird being outside of the temple, but I think I'm getting the hang of it.
No, you're not. Okay,
Oh,
bye.
oh, bye. Bye.
And as that word leaves your mouth, you're back in the Temple of the Tempest. And you've said bye out loud.
Is there anybody else in there? Like, am I
Yeah, there's
embarrassed?
kind of a lot of people, and they all like look your direction because you kind of said it loudly.
I definitely blush and then like scurry out.
Okay. You are still holding a bag and a book.
Um, do I have my bag of holding on me?
Yeah, yeah, you do.
Okay. I feel like
All your stuff is now
okay,
back where it
I have
should be.
all my stuff. I think that I shove them in there as I'm running because I don't want anyone to see them because they feel like there's something precious
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like for specific eyes only.
Probably, yeah. Um, you remember that the party said that they were gonna head towards the library. Um, so like as you're like running out of the temple, uh, I think that's where we're gonna call it for this little character focus. Unless you want to have another scene somewhere. Um,
Um, no, it's probably okay. Basically, I think my goal of making Poe like me is now more important than ever.
mm-hmm.
Um, and as Zero says, I need to stop lecturing Poe, or Poe's going to destroy the world. Which is rough because
Oh,
lecturing
po-
Poe is one of
Poe
my favorite things
Poe
to
won't
do.
be the one who destroys the world. I guarantee that. It won't be Poe.
Ah, it'll be me. Um, it'll be me trying to convert Poe. Yeah. I think that Adele has more questions now than she actually got answers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of her wonders if she asked the right questions. Um, and I think she is definitely worried about Poe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that we should ask those questions now at the end of every session. Um,
Oh, okay.
were your ideals, bonds, or flaws reinforced or challenged in any way? No dice were rolled
Um,
this episode, so there's not an
yeah,
easy
no
way to tell.
dice.
But um,
I mean, there's definitely was a lot going on religion wise,
mm-hmm,
and also like the discussion of like, well, there's her family, that's the temple, but I feel like Adele's starting to think of these friends that she's made as like kind of a new step in her family.
mm-hmm,
Um, and then I mean, like she literally met a goddess and has like decided that you know she's going to follow the will of this goddess because that's that's what she's going to do. I
mm-hmm.
mean, everything's a sign, and it's her job to try and make things happen. So
Yeah. Just quickly reading over your sheet. Your your first personality trait is the gods try to speak to us. We just need to listen.
Yeah.
I feel like that could be the summary for the episode.
Yeah.
So that's like one point right there. You uh
The ideal of change
mhm.
and the ideal of faith.
I feel like
Like,
that was challenged a little bit because
yeah.
that one point where Adele said, "Well, what if I fail?"
Hmm.
Right? Um,
Yeah.
and that became like the center point of the discussion from then on. Like using the analogy of the baking cookies.
Yeah.
Uh,
Baking cookies.
like even if you fail, you're still useful, or you could be useful in the future. So like I feel like that challenges one of your ideals directly. Uh, the faith that if you work hard, things will go well.
Yeah.
The
And
God directly said otherwise. Um,
mhm.
that like even if you do things, sometimes you screw up.
Yeah.
So I think that's 2 points because yeah. Do you have any other moments that you think would work?
Um, I mean, I feel like the whole thing was just a like conflict between my two ideals of like, oh, I have to do like what the gods want to change the world, but then also just this like deep rooted like self doubt that maybe even if I work super hard, like I'm not gonna be good enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. Um, your goal of making Poe like you did not progress this episode, but I feel like the difficulty has increased.
The difficulty definitely has increased.
It is now a hard goal. It was a moderate goal.
And it's become definitely more important because I feel like Adele really feels like what based on what she said, she wants to become closer and be able to be like a support and a confidant.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
not just,
Yep.
a
And
banter partner.
Mingjing did give you a couple hints, if you think about it, what the bag is for.
Yes.
But that's up to Adele to decide.
Right.
Uh, okay, and now one final question.
Hmm.
Did we learn something new or important about the world?
I feel like we learned a lot. I feel like I feel like it is important about Poe, but in terms of like big world things, um, I think it kind of solidifies the idea that the gods don't work directly, they work through others. And that there's definitely something going on. Something big.
Mm-hmm.
And that we also learned that there's more like powers in play other than just our group.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's more people that the Celestials have placed
Yep,
in this game of chess, but we also learned that it's not just the serpent and there's something else out there.
that is true. That is true. So yeah, that's definitely that satisfies the question. Cool. Any any like other comments about this episode that you might have? Like were you expecting it to be a literal rabbit?
No, no, I was not.
Even though there's a
Um,
rabbit on the stained glass window?
Yes. I mean, I put two and two together, but I was not expecting a literal rabbit, although it was very fun to imagine. And very endearing.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that I think that was kind of fun to play Adele as more anxious. Because she's usually very kind of foolhardy in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I kind of tried to play to that a little. Like, what happens? What flusters Adele?
I think well, I mean, like it's the way she grew up. I mean, celestials are everything. Listening to the teachings, following the word, that's everything. And
Mm-hmm.
now she's meeting, again,
Mm-hmm.
one of these powerful beings, and I mean, she's just. I feel like she's really scared she's gonna mess up or not do the right thing because all she's ever wanted growing up was to be like the best priestess that she could be.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Uh, little comment from my side. Um, in multiple cultures that on Earth that did not have contact, there is the concept of a moon rabbit. Um,
Yes. 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 Yes.
so like, there you go.
I totally didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm. Specifically with like a mortar and pestle sometimes. So
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a cool detail. I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, you met Mingji.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Cool.
And poor Romeo got slandered
He did
big
not get
time.
slandered, but he was called like
He was called out.
a little. Yeah. Cool. Uh, I think that's gonna be it for the
Cool.
uh, for the episode. Um, so where can people find you?
People can find me at twitch.tv/insertwaffles. Um, I'm not there very often right now, but I'm hopefully going to be back on it again as soon as the holiday rush is over. But until then, make sure you are taking your meds and drinking water and staying safe.
Seconded.
Bye
Yeah. So bye everyone. Thanks for hanging out.
bye.